In a small African village, people lived simple lives, working hard but struggling to send their children to university due to limited funds. Life moved at a steady pace until one day, a wealthy man from the city visited the village, meeting with the king. This man was no ordinary visitor. His clothes shone like sunlight, and his voice rumbled like thunder. The villagers gathered, eager to hear what he had to say. "I bring a gift," the rich man announced. "Scholarships for your children to study in the city." The crowd gasped. For most families, the thought of their children going to the city to study was a far-off dream. Parents whispered excitedly, imagining the bright futures their daughters could have. But the rich man had one surprising condition. Only girls could apply for the scholarships. "The boys are strong and can work the farms," he explained. "The girls need this chance more." The villagers were puzzled but didn't question him. All they knew was that their daughters now had a chance to escape the hard life of the village and find success in the city. When the rich man left, he left behind a new hope that filled the village. News of the scholarship spread quickly. Parents eagerly prepared their daughters, dreaming of the great things they might achieve. The village teacher, Mr. Raji, became the center of this preparation. Known for his charm, Mr. Raji was tall and had a voice as smooth as honey. He was the only teacher in the village, and he often entertained parents with stories of the bustling city, where skyscrapers touched the sky and anything seemed possible. The villagers flocked to Mr. Raji, trusting him to prepare their daughters for the scholarship exams. They brought him gifts, yams, fish, and fine clothing to show their gratitude. "Please teach my daughter well," they begged. Mr. Raji smiled and reassured them, promising, "I will make them the best student in the city." One day, Mr. Raji announced that he would hold private lessons for the brightest girls to prepare them. The parents were thrilled, scrambling to enroll their daughters in these exclusive lessons, believing it was their best chance. But beneath Mr. Raji's smooth words and bright smile lay something dark. The private lessons were not what they seemed, and the girls would soon learn that Mr. Raji's intentions were far from pure. In the small classroom where the lessons took place, Mr. Raji's friendly demeanor vanished. Speaking softly but with a hint of menace, he will say, "If you want to succeed, you must do exactly as I say." The young girls, eager for a better life, nodded, not fully understanding his intentions. Mr. Raji made them swear to keep everything a secret. "If you tell anyone, you will lose the scholarship and be stuck in the village forever," he warned. Some girls felt uneasy about Mr. Raji's touches and strange herbal drinks that he claimed would make them sharper. But fear kept them silent. They couldn't risk losing the chance to escape the village, so they kept Mr. Raji's secrets, hoping it would all be worth it someday. One of these girls was Tia, known throughout the village for her beauty and intelligence. Her family was proud, believing she would be the one to bring honor to their name by winning the scholarship. One day, Mr. Raji visited Tia's home and assured her parents that she had a bright future. "But she needs extra guidance," he said, with a glint in his eye. Trusting him, Tia's parents agreed, seeing Mr. Raji as the key to her success. Tia went with him, her heart full of dreams. But during the private lessons, Mr. Raji crossed boundaries, telling her it was part of the sacrifice needed to succeed. Days passed and soon, Tia didn't return home. Her family waited, assuming she was still studying. When weeks turned into months, whispers began to spread. Some believed she had run away to the city, while others quietly suspected something more sinister. Meanwhile, Mr. Raji's influence in the village continued to grow. He convinced more parents to send their daughters to him for special lessons, as they showered him with gifts. The villagers praised him, convinced he was helping their daughters achieve a brighter future. But Mr. Raji was hiding a dark secret, and the girls attending his lessons were too afraid to speak out. One day, a bright young girl named Lola, one of Mr. Raji's students, fell gravely ill. Her parents grew worried as her condition worsened, eventually discovering she was pregnant. After much prodding, Lola revealed the truth. It was Mr. Raji. He told us it was part of our journey to the city, she confessed, trembling with fear. Instead of blaming Mr. Raji, the villagers turned against Lola. A good man like Mr. Raji would never do this. Her father shouted and her mother wept. Convinced Lola was lying, the villagers were too blinded by hope to believe her, and so Mr. Raji's secret remained hidden. However, the next morning, a group of armed men rode into the village. Their faces stern. The villagers thought they were here to take the girls to the city. But to their shock, the men announced they had come for Mr. Raji. When he saw them, Mr. Raji tried to flee, but was quickly caught and tied up. The leader of the men stepped forward, revealing that Mr. Raji had committed similar crimes in another village and had been on the run. The villagers, horrified and betrayed, listened as the leader recounted Mr. Raji's past. The trust they had placed in him shattered, leaving them in shock. As Mr. Raji lay bound, he cried out, "The rich man who offered the scholarship is my master. He sent me here to prepare the girls, but I didn't know what happens to them after. They never come back." Just then, a cloud of dust appeared on the horizon. A grand carriage rolled into the village, and out stepped the wealthy man, followed by the very girls the villagers thought they'd lost, including Tia and Lola. They were dressed in fine clothes, their faces glowing with joy as they carried books and gifts. The villagers gasped. The girls were healthy, successful, and full of life. The girls explained they had been studying and working in the city, earning money to send back home. The rich one spoke. "I sent your daughters to the city to show that they can achieve great things. Girls, just like boys, deserve opportunities. They have thrived, not suffered." The villagers, relieved and ashamed of their doubts, now saw their daughters in a new light as future leaders who had broken free from the limitations they once faced. The elders vowed to build a better school and to support the education of all children, girls and boys alike. The village of Abidan was forever changed. Having learned to question, to protect, and to believe in the strength of their daughters, from that day forward, they supported every child's dreams, ensuring that the future will be bright for all.